Okay, here we are. I was just telling myself that I don't care that it takes as long as it does for me to go through this, but I'm feeling a lot better. I went through this for years, therapeutic. Okay? And I'm realizing that, more so than not, there was very little that was really my fault as to how all these things came about. I made the choices based off of information that I gathered throughout life, through the school system, through psychologists, through people I met, through books. All right? We're all doing the best we can. Don't always believe don't fall in agreement and believe everything you hear. What I want you to see is, you see this lollipop, schoolgirl? I made that video and I realized that it was kind of like a spiritual occurrence. If you watch that video, years ago there was a video very, very similar with a genetic girl on in a schoolgirl outfit. And if I'm not mistaken, I got to see that video. It was popular on YouTube. This was before YouTube became what it is today. So this had to be back anywhere from 2000 to 2004, 2006. I wouldn't say 2006. It was probably early 2000. Nevertheless, obviously desires and things inside of me, schoolgirl, being a model, adult entertainment, exotic, these are things that I can't help that throughout my life, like being a stripper or a dancer, were things that I desired to do. Okay, they're very sensual acts is what they are. It's like an art, it's a dance, it's human. With that being said, when I set down to do set out to do my 2012 50-song project, I realized that, like this schoolgirl right here, there was a character that came out. I don't know if it was before. You would know that maybe. There was a character that may have came out before, but I never saw it until I did this. And that was that gothic kind of like schoolgirl with like, sometimes she has like blonde and rainbow hair with pigtails and stuff. Okay? I don't know how long she's been around. I don't know what her name is. I stopped watching mainstream entertainment starting in just about 2000. With that being said, I never saw that girl ever before. I don't know, is she a movie actress? Is she a comic or an action movie person? She's some kind of actress, I think. With that being said, a character of that. Understand, the schoolgirl is very popular in the adult entertainment industry. I was typically known, I was escorting, to dress up in like a schoolgirl, meaning I wore heels and I wore a schoolgirl outfit. I always wanted to be a cheerleader when I was a kid, so it's kind of like a resemblance. A schoolgirl outfit is kind of similar to that of a cheerleader. If I had a cheerleading outfit, I'd probably wear it a lot right now. I want to get a Bengals cheerleading outfit sometime, maybe a jersey. Here's the thing. So that was something else that I seen. And as I go through these pictures, I can tell you just by looking at my video pictures, profile pictures, that it seemed like no matter what I was doing, they were replying on Facebook with other things that were compatible, like the Lady Gaga, like that schoolgirl thing that I was just talking about. I originally put on a video like this one right here that I'll show you. See Obama there in the plane?
Look at the sky! Look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Okay. I was really excited because I wanted to do something very childlike. And I was trying to, believe it or not, as I was working through life in 2012, confused as ever before, I was trying to combine music, my songwritings, music, with the adult entertainment, but keeping it child-friendly, because I love children. And I don't want to be too aggressive in my appearance, if you will. I really want to do family-oriented presentations. But I am very exotic in my own mind at times, a lot. And therefore, I have a switch inside my head that I can be all over the place. I love all life and what it offers. So I wanted to combine that with children and plus God, because I love God. So freedom and equality for all. There I am with Obama. And I remember, much like anyone else, from what we know, Obama was the first what? President that was not all white. That we know. We don't know. We only know what we know. We don't know what happened years ago. Did history change itself somehow? But the bottom line is, I'm not being smart. Just like anyone else, I was excited about that, but I didn't know nothing about politics. I don't follow politics. I realized doing my life journey and doing my music and stuff that I evidently became more political than I desired to. I just wanted to have fun and have a children's rock and roll ministry. But anyway, I remember when I was doing that song and I was talking to Steven before we went into the recording studio. He had mentioned to me to change lyrics from "if you're born a boy and you wear a dress" to "if you're a politician and you wear a dress." And as soon as I heard that politician, instantly I heard a voice tell me, "Don't you dare do that." In other words, don't get political with stuff. It's not about that. It's about being a transgender. Tracilyn Michael, born Todd Michael Arndt, was going through a lot of stuff, and my heart's desires was to help specifically the trans community. It turned into the LGBT community, and the LGBTQ got added to it. But it was mainly for transsexual females, because I understood I was going through these things, and I was tired of hearing stories of girls being hurt, being mutilated, killed, all kinds of things. So as I was going through these things, I started realizing that there was more and more of an uproar of people in the entertainment industry that caught wind, knowing what it is that I was desiring to do. I did speak about it, and I did make motion about it, and I realized that my content was being blocked on the internet. And meanwhile, while my content is being blocked or limited, the view count's changing, I'm telling you, it's to discredit who I am, to discredit any opinion that I may have, to discredit that my music be good or not good. If you ever see a view count on Facebook with 2 million, 2 billion hits, think again. If they can change those view counts on my videos, they can change other people's view counts. Steven specifically told me one of the things when I was with him is it's all about numbers. They have people convinced, including they fall into the belief theirself. It's all about numbers. And I'm here to tell you, read the Bible. The Bible will tell you the answers of life. It's not about numbers. It's about every word you ever heard your whole life. So don't listen to the content because of the numbers on it. Listen to the content because you're attracted to the words in the video. Hear the message and know not every word is for you, okay? Pay attention. If you like the song, if you like the message, then appreciate it. Know that those view counts are to pay favoritism for their marketing approach, whatever reason that is. It may be somebody they have compassion for, which is nice, right? But why? Why lie about it? If it was you, would you want somebody saying that you had 2 million hits when you really only had 2? Let it be 2. I'm telling you, be brave. Let it be 2 or 5 hits. Okay, 2 views. Because why? Because at the end of the day, when somebody puts in there it's 2-3 million views on your video, and you know it's not, what did it prove? That somebody can change the numbers? Listen to the message. Don't even pay attention to the dates, any numbers in it. Pay attention to the content in the video. The person evidently has something to say. And maybe Facebook is criminal. In other words, they take artist content. They take their music. They have all kinds of things in their writings that has to do with copyrights and you name it. Okay? Notice that you can't contact them directly to talk to them, can you? No, you can't. Try to contact anybody from Facebook and explain to them what you're going through. If you notice view counts changing or videos missing. Now, here's the thing I wanted to share with you. I'm not going to keep going through this because it was way too many. All these videos, all my ideas. I had a 50-song project that I was working on. Okay, I still am working on it regularly. I did all these songs first okay, with a webcam. And I was devastated and hurt when I started to learn what was going on. In other words, these people like to rub things in your face. So what they do is they have somebody, like right now, I believe it's Steven who's watching me. And as I'm doing things, he's taking the ideas of things that I'm doing, and therefore he's transferring it over to other people, and now they're using similar ideas. Maybe they appears to be on a greater level or acknowledgement in their videos, and that's simply because they have access to resources and more people to help them. Tracilyn does everything herself. I've been getting more and more volunteers, and I appreciate that. And I'm very thankful that people that I love are in my videos. And can I tell you, I've learned that just like doing my music, it's best for me to record my music, to write my songs myself. For me, it's best for me to write my songs myself about my life, not the lives of others, maybe what I perceived along the way. How's that? I wrote, some songs about other people, and I usually asked them if it was okay. So that way, I didn't feel like I was intruding into their life. With that being said, I use very personal names at times. Now, here's the thing. Check this out. As I'm doing what I'm doing, it was always important for me to be as true as possible in the stuff that I do. I don't know why I'm like that, but I am. So most of my songs that you hear, I would say that at least 93 or 87% of everything you hear is in alignment with solid truth of me. You hear my songs, you hear my life. So that's how you can tell. And let me tell you something as a songwriter. If you don't write about your life, write about what they tell you to do in the music business, in the event, for any reason whatsoever, you would need to prove, outside of copyrights and stuff because of how corrupted they are, that that was your song. I can prove it because I lived the life. I have evidence because I have witnesses. So when you write a song about your life story, and it entails your life story like transitioning, and you relate it to it, and you take notes to it about what the song's about, your life, the bottom line is, as you share your life story, these people do not like that because you put the two and two together and it becomes obvious. Like, for instance, Nebraska. It is about the mental journey of going from male to female and that getting stuck in the middle, meaning you never got to finish the transition. That is unfortunately, and fortunately, it happens more often than you realize in the transsexual community. They get started on the journey, it's fundage, it's money, it's lack of compassion from our insurance companies and the leadership of America. Okay? They don't care about the things we truly desire. The only thing that they do is put on a front. The people behind the scenes, like people like Steven, who have access to invading our privacy and taking whatever they want, right? Because then when you're gone, they'll make sure that if you have valuables, just say you have 100 cars in a garage somewhere, okay? If they want those cars, they're watching your life. For whatever reason, they're very valuable. Or if you have Elvis memorabilia that's very rare and very valuable, these people will keep tabs on you as you go through life. They will see where your valuables are and check in on them once in a while. In the event that you transition on, some people say die, in the event that you transition on or you become ill or anything like that, these people will literally have other people take your possessions. This is how I learned that the 1% exists. They steal everything. What do you think of that? What do you think of the richest people on the earth are nothing more than a bunch of criminals? The people you listen to on the radio? Don't think that they're not involved in it. Why are they worth those ticket prices anyway? How much of a percentage do they get? Ask them these questions. Do you think that you're worthy to work, at Walmart for $8 or $10 an hour? What is it now? When I worked there, it was like $7 or $8.05 or $8.15 an hour, part-time. Now, if you're extremely talented, why do you think somebody else who might not even be as talented or is as talented or just a little bit more talented should be making a lot more than that when all they do is go on stage for 20 minutes to 45 minutes? For a set, they made more than you did that month. Why is that? Because we let it happen, and most people would rather not get involved in things like that. They learn to settle for, or they became adjusted and they settle for a whole lot less. This is why they call separation through electronic harassment. They will separate your families, especially if they know you have something of great value. They want it, and they don't want you to leave it in a will for somebody else. If you have kids especially, they're going to try to separate all of that. They don't care if it's one song. They don't care if it's 10 songs. I have many songs, many albums, and I guarantee you, these criminals most likely want my music. They want my name, Tracilyn, but they don't want Tracilyn. They like to create things. This is what they use Facebook for. They see that you're using what? You're not, most likely a lot of people are not using real names on your birth certificate names. I do. Tracilyn Michael. I put VCAT as my nickname, okay, because I do use that. Tracilyn, also known as VCAT. And that's where I am no matter where I am. I've learned in the entertainment industry specifically, I don't like to use more than one name, meaning my birth name. I want to use Tracilyn. So, with that being said, we don't want to babble on too much about this, but I wanted to point out here in the photos. As we scroll down, I've noticed that they were removing a lot of the photographs that I loved. Okay, you see this guy right here? Supposedly he is the one and the only son to Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. I don't know if he is or not, but I actually met him on 11/11/11. Isn't that incredible? That is incredible. Here's the thing. You see this CD? It has my name on it. That was a rough copy of the New York recordings that I made up in Derby, New York, actually outside of Buffalo. Unfortunately, no contract was ever made, and I'm glad now, not unfortunately. At that time, it was unfortunate. So here I am, I'm meeting him, and I didn't want to give him the copyright of the song. I wanted to give him that CD with the song on it. Because if it was true, his dad, Elvis, had inspired me tremendously. I love Elvis Presley. So to be close to him really meant a lot. To meet him. Long story short, this isn't about that night, but what ended up happening is, when we were on the phone the last time, I found out that he was kind of into playing games, and the fact that I'm a transsexual female did not sit in too well with the fact that I was going to go down with a friend of his who was a radio personality to Memphis, and supposedly the friend didn't know that I was a transsexual female, and when I explained to Junior about that, he laughed and he said, well, why did you tell him? Let people know if you're a transsexual female, okay? It's not about hiding it or not hiding it. Creeps like him like to use people like us, like me, as little game pranks on their friends. In other words, if you're a very passable female in the eyes of someone else, and it gets sexual, and next thing you know, here goes the panties. What is that between your legs? Exactly. And guess what? That can give people heart attacks. That can get people killed. That can get all kinds of things happen. Very seldom is somebody going to laugh. Usually you're going to jump up and say, whoa, what is going on, right? And by the way, you're going down to Memphis with somebody, and the truth of the matter is, he says, you're going to have to find your own way home. Well, let me tell you something about Memphis. I learned a while back, prior to this, in 2009, 2010, that Memphis was one of the cities in America that had a lot of transsexuals mysteriously. I'm learning that in the transsexual community, it may be that people like Steven target transsexuals via satellite with cameras, and they target them mentally, and they cause situations to happen. What reason? How about simply because they're Satanists, and to them it's fun, it's like a hobby. And because it's done from a distance, our country does not do anything about it. The leadership, what laws did they pass? That's basically no different than launching a missile, at, what was it, in D.C.? What was it that went into the building? What was that? Human lives are valuable. And I'm realizing, in this situation, I stopped talking to him. I'm done. I was hurting during it. Look at that face. Look how hurt I am. I'm smiling. Not because of our phone conversation yet. So then on top of a phone conversation, that upset me a lot. And not to mention, that's the person that during our conversation at the diner, he let me know that it was fun to watch. Now, is he watching me via satellite, do you think? Or is he just aware that other people watch us via satellite? There was a CD with the two of us together with the Ragtop Cadillac logo on it, okay? Now, that's what I was giving away as promos, the CDs. They were giveaways, not the copyrights of the song. I was giving away CDs with the music on it. That picture, which I can't find the actual CD right now, that picture was removed from my Facebook. Not only was it removed from my Facebook, it was also removed from every one of my hard drive. It was also removed from every one of my flash drives. This is something that reminded me when I was at Huber Heights and I first had the Elvis art, the ice cream art. You see, there's a Ragtop Cadillac. You see the car? That's really the toy car that I got at Walmart toy section. In 2011, when I saw it, I had to have it. A car came across my cash register, and I asked them where they got it, and the people told me. And when I was on break, I ran back and I saw the Cadillac, and I knew I had to have it. So this was similar to that. Right here I tell you, it was recorded in New York, produced by Stephen C. Johnson, and it was written by Tracilyn Michael, inspired by Elvis, and really the 50s. Okay? Now, I wrote the song Ragtop Cadillac in 2010, okay? Inspired by the Pink 50s time in Furlong, Pennsylvania. I don't know if somebody was invading my privacy or not at that time, but I'm telling you, I know the difference between people invading my thoughts and tampering with my mind and what that time when I was writing, or any time I was writing. I can tell you stories where I had dreams. I can tell you stories of where what? I literally feel like somebody's trying to mess with my head continuously. And during that time, not. During the times that I actually wrote songs, not. With that being said, going to meet Stephen in New York started off as what I thought a great time, a blessing. Unfortunately, I did not realize how corrupted he was. And evidently he was tied in with Elvis Jr. as well. My pictures are missing. Okay, that one picture that I was telling you about was missing. And what I realized is he and other people in the entertainment industry do everything they can to oppress people like me. So when I have a picture like me in Savannah, okay, on the internet, and I do on my adult Pornhub, I have a Pornhub site, you can check it out, and there I am with me in Todd form, meaning before I transitioned. On my 21st birthday, I have Savannah, an adult film star and dancer, exotic dancer, with a picture with her on my lap. I got to meet her. Okay, number one, somebody paid for that for my birthday. It was a birthday treat. I got the opportunity to talk to her. I met other celebrities too, and I just never really thought of anything except for, can I get a picture with you? It's what most people would do. The thing is, when I was here on Facebook and I post anything, the people who have access to my account remove content like that. And the reason they do that is because they make a bigger deal about it than I do. Like I'm trying to use it for leverage to gain some kind of popularity. I'm sharing memories with people that I met. I am not trying to even come close to attempting to what they thought I was going to do. The psychopath thought I was going to start playing bar rooms, and I guess evidently promoting my recordings from New York. The thing is I never liked the recordings from New York. They're okay to shop around as a publisher for people in the music industry to sing them. Okay, I didn't even want to sing it in the studio at all. It's my song, and I didn't want to do that. Why? I was sick. Okay? Not trying to be a butthead. I was sick. The conditions as a recording artist have to be much, much different. And when I record that this year, it's going to be the most natural sounding version of me singing it. Now I believe and I'm convinced because of stuff like this, which happened right around the time that I met Elvis Jr., because I took this to him, as you can see. And that's what I saw at his show. Now why is that? It looks just like my ice cream. You see the Elvis there? Leather jacket with his arm around and the tiger or the lion's head, the cub. Now look at this. There's a lion and there's Junior. There's a lot of detail in this art. In my opinion, I already explained about this, so I don't want to now. They have taken down my red velvet ice cream art over and over again. I posted it here on Flickr. I have a Flickr account, /people and then /Tracilyn Michael. Usually on a social network, if I don't have Tracilyn, Tracilyn, I have Tracilyn Michael. In the event I couldn't get that, I'd probably go with Tracilyn21. Unless it's on my Facebook like page, then I have Tracilyn Music for now, but I did have Tracilyn.vcat, which I might go back to. With this being said, I can go on and on and on and on about this forever. These people, and I believe that Stephen had a lot to do with it, have been targeting me continuously night and day. I shared enough. The bottom line is they're tampering with all of my social networks. They're removing things specifically that have to do with Elvis. Elvis Jr., that picture's gone from all my hard drives. Connecting it to Ragtop Cadillac. Now why do you think that is? I'll tell you why. Because most likely Elvis Enterprise wants that song. They're criminals. And most likely they also did it to what? That's Alright Mama. If you hear the story about Arthur, the original songwriter, you would find out most likely that Elvis Enterprise was very corrupted towards him and many, many other people. And don't ever think that Elvis Enterprise did not have a means to eliminate songwriters so they can have songs. They just need the songs, they don't need the people. They don't want to take care of, they don't want to help people or work with people in a lot of situations that they don't want to work with. But if they want that song, they'll do whatever it takes. Now understand, I am a transsexual female. I also am convinced that when I was walking on the streets, or when I was busking on the streets at the Oregon District and so on and so forth, they were literally trying to get me to take my nose ring out, to take my earrings out, to have my hair go back to its natural color, which is brunette. They were trying to get me to dress more like a boy instead of being a girl. They were trying to revert me. Why do you think that is? Because they were observing me through my transition. They saw my name, Tracilyn, when I advertised as an adult entertainer. All of my ads that were on Craigslist are now gone. And the reason that is because I can use that as evidence to prove that I used Tracilyn in Class 41 Entertainment ever since 2007, when I changed my name from Todd to Tracilyn. I use my real name in entertainment. Very seldom have I used other names, and that was only because the police are corrupted against adult entertainers, and therefore I was scared out of my wits when I had to escort a few times. I had several phones. I usually only use one phone until I had my head smashed against a wall by somebody. I'm still confused as to whether or not they were really an undercover or really a criminal. Not to mention having police frame you and saying that you took money in exchange for sex when you did not. This will let you know, the more I could go on and on with that, and I don't want to, you start realizing I don't want to use a fake name, but I'm going to use a stage name. And it doesn't sit well with me. I like when people call me on the phone and say, "Hey Tracilyn, how are you doing?" Okay? I want to live in a real life, but in Satan's world, everybody's confused as to what name to use when, especially in entertainment industry. You don't know whose name is real and whose name is not. The master of confusion. Doesn't sit too well with me. I'm Tracilyn Michael, and understand, I used to be Todd Michael. Unfortunately, I don't know, and I relate this back sometimes with Bret Michaels. My name was Todd Michael Arndt. I got rid of Arndt because very few people could pronounce it, So I just went with Todd Michael. It was nothing to do with Poison, nothing to do with Bret Michaels. It's my personal matter in my life. Unfortunately, I'm convinced, considering that the recordings that I had, I approached Bret in hopes of what? Getting the opportunity to work with him, knowing him in music. Unfortunately, he never did call me, and I'm glad he didn't, and he better never call me. Because I would just tell him he's wasting his time now, because I have acknowledged that there could be a possibility that because I was Todd Michael and now I'm Tracilyn Michael, that he might have an ego with the fact that he is Bret Michaels. Not to mention, years ago, I still have the recordings of Born to Be, Just You and Me, and several other songs that were quite popular with the people I sang to every night of the week. And guess what? The quality of that voice is superior to a lot of people in the music industry with that quality of voice, meaning that tone of voice. How's that? When that happens, who knows if that might be the actual reason why people are targeting innocent people who didn't commit no crimes but are simply attractive, extremely talented. They have likenesses like other recording artists that have been around for years. I would have to say, if this is true, Bret, get over it. I'm a good-hearted person. I don't ever want to find out by any means that you used any of my songs. Most people would not do that. With that being said, all of my social networks have been tampered with. Is it real? Is it not real? I'm real. So I actually made a website. Here, look at this. This is John. This is the picture I was talking about. I wrote this song, 2013's top grossing tour led by a rock and roll frontman inspired by a whore. Jack ticket prices, prostituted fans with illusions through intrusions, then boast because we can. Look who's raping us now. And there's Tracilyn, also known as VCat. And here is this John. Where's it at? Okay, I'm sure you can find a picture online somewhere. I also have it. I think that's it. Somewhere. There he is. See him? Okay, so then there's the car. Okay, is it really a stage prop? I don't know. Very similar, isn't it? Now understand that during this time that I saw that, I was pretty upset. Do you know why? Because I met Stephen C. Johnson down in Nashville. We went to New York. Willie Nelson's crew was there, so to speak, some of the people from there. I met stuntman Carrie, and, I was always very kind to everyone, okay? We went to the studio. I didn't want to. We never put anything in writing, and that was another reason, So we did it. We got together. We recorded it. And can I tell you, I was never satisfied with the recording as a recording artist. As a songwriter, it's good enough. It was good enough with just me singing it alone, okay? Now, if you have to go through all those details in order for somebody else to sing it, get away from me. I'll do it myself, and it'll be a heck of a lot better, by the way. No offense, but that's because I love this song, because I love myself, and because I will take the time, no matter how much time, to put in to make the recording, because it's a lifetime commitment. The recording lasts for who knows how long. With that being said, I don't know what capability these buttheads have. Can they delete songs? Do you think when everything goes digital that they can totally extinct a recording artist's whole existence and then use their songs in 20, 30 years from now? Do you think if Tracilyn would have jumped off the bridge at George Washington, hey, Bret Michaels, would have you used my songs 5 or 10 years later? As we're entering into the 20s, is that what you were hoping for? Because it's in your actions and your postings of things that are online that I was being observed, and somehow it was transferred into you, whether you saw it directly, heard it directly, or other people were observing me in my privacy of my home and ended up channeling it over to you. I don't know if that would be true or not. I'm not insisting. But it sure is weird that I met a Bret Michaels look-alike in Las Vegas and I was almost killed. on the Las Vegas Bridge. Kind of weird that I gave somebody a CD about 6 years prior to that, you know. So, anyway, I retract anything to do with that. It's kind of unique because with John Bon Jovi, I'm telling you as an adult escort, traveler, that whenever I was in New Jersey, this happened dominantly. I'm telling you that his name floated around with me. And I was even suggested about seeing where he lived, and I never went. I wouldn't go. When I was a kid, I loved Bon Jovi. I talked to his poster. I told him I wanted to meet him. I did. Cincinnati during the worst time of my life. And I'm absolutely convinced that there is a group of people in the music industry, and the reason they've been around for all these years is because they target people who have major hit songs, ideas, connect with the current generation, serious topics, and then they use them as a resource and take whatever approach. Do they respond or reply to their songs in a song? Or do they use any of their ideas, like if they love Cadillacs, where in the world did that thing come from? It's not a Cadillac, but it sure is pretty close to what a Cadillac looks like. Nice one. And by the way, when I saw that, it was prior to me seeing that picture. And if I'm not mistaken, I saw Bon Jovi face to face in Ohio, there at Cincinnati Fountain Square, briefly before this picture appeared on Facebook. Okay, so I saw him first. I was extremely mad at the time about all of this stuff. I'm calming down now because I realize what they're trying to do is keep me angry. They don't want me happy like that. They don't want me happy like that. Do you know why? Because I become a magnet for other people to appreciate. I love people. I'm a loving person. These people are dealing. Watch them on video and stuff. See if they smile. Hey, listen to John Bon Jovi talk in his interviews. Does he sound happy? Okay, some of these people are come across as being downright mean. Why we go to their concerts and support them when there's someone who's upbeat, smiles, has something different to say, has a love for God. And when you have somebody with as much talent as I do, especially during the times of the uprising of the LGBT community, the freedom to be, you would have thought the phone would be ringing off the hook for somebody like me. I have the experience. I played over 1,001 paid performances. I have done even personal performances with many. I've noticed that there are other transsexuals that are out in mainstream. What do you think is the reason why Tracilyn was never given a call, Bret Michaels? Why do you think that is? I haven't searched, but how many transsexuals have you been around with since 2012? Was any of it public? You getting into heavy topics? By the way, you will see that I also had a boxer. And with a boxer, my dog, Riggs Michael, he was kind of like a mascot years ago when I was a local entertainer with my solo acoustic guitar performance that I had. And I would go to healthcare facilities, and I would go to children's parties. And what I did is I would take my dog with me as kind of like a mascot and let people pet him. And, I'd show and tell kind of thing. And let me tell you something. It's just something that came to be about. Unfortunately, when I came out, I had to find him a home. And from what I know, he passed away. Because I had a dream about him when I first came out here in 2009. Here he is. Riggs Michael. And here's the old me. You know? Yeah. As you can see in the picture, I smile a little bit. But I really smile now. I'm a lot happier. I was miserable before. And that was my best friend. I also had a picture right here. Look at this. Did you ever see that guy? Is it on, what is it on? On television. You remember that guy that started off a few years ago? He had a piece of duct tape across his mouth. If I were to show you the date of my earliest picture with this on, I posted it on Facebook. Facebook has been using me as a resource. You need to understand this, and in my opinion, something needs to be done about it. Did you notice on the television show, if I had a really good lawyer or I knew the law a little bit better and I was willing to invest, see, it's even on my teddy bear. Hey, did Miley Cyrus show you her stuffed animals too? Because Tracilyn did? Do you think so? I don't know. Did she? I just am showing you some things that I am aware of. The voice? Is that it? Pretty cool, huh? Tracilyn, also known as VCAT voice. And it's not about talent. It's about what you believe. See, Tracilyn doesn't do things for games. She does it because what? It's in her heart. She loves to do it. I come from a family of worship leaders. It's not about who's better than who or who's approved by any. Hey, voice, why do you think during this time with the transgendered and the gay rights movement, why do you think my phone is not ringing from people in the music industry? Why do you think my content has been being blocked continuously, taken down? You think they would be trying to deter me, to remove me? A song like Ragtop Cadillac that you might not have heard is the most recognizable song in the world when I'm through with it. What kind of award do I get for that? I'd rather it be a check with large numbers on it in my bank account rather than a trophy. Why? Because I know what it's like not to have anything and be homeless and have people electronically harass you and try to drive you off of a bridge. I know what it's like to have police officers put money in your hand and say you're guilty. I know what it's like. I know what it's like. I was asked when I was at the Oregon District, why is it that you were never on, like a game show or something? That wasn't the words they said. And my exact words were, because it's not a game to me. It's not a competition. It's what I do. And I was doing it for a living for a long time, very good. And I've learned how selfish and evil people in the entertainment music industry are, especially when they are worldly presented in a manner that appears that they are larger than life. Right, voice? Is that it? How long were you doing that? Did you start it before Tracilyn, also known as VCAT, came along? Or did it start shortly after that? I like that statue. Is that what it is? Pretty incredible. You punks like to take people's ideas. Little tiny artist. Is that it? Scum buckets of the world where sooner or later they're probably going to commit suicide or something. Is that what you think? I'm not suicidal anymore. You see, I've learned that people were purposely trying to make me suicidal because I'm a heck of a songwriter. Tell Bret Michaels I said hi and that I'm still alive. And I hope he didn't do anything more than use ideas from past performances. Like the one with him and Miley, imitating what me and my cousin Bud did ever since I was a very, very young person. Like in my 20s, which would make it over 20 years. My hope is that he was never lacking intelligence in the department that I will recognize if anything was copyrighted, infringed upon songs I wrote. Now, when we come over here, this goes on and on and on and on. These people continuously, everything that I did, and I did a lot. Here's my V on the way out to Las Vegas. That's where I came up, on my way to Vegas. Everything's time-stamped. See the smiley face on it? It's really cute, isn't it? So anyway, I want to move forward with this because I want to wrap things up. I can go on with this. Was there anybody with Pennsylvania Dutch? Was there anybody with a German? Have we gotten into our, background of heritage of who we are? Because that's what I was all about, sharing the good thing about being alive and my ancestry and the fact that I come from a gospel family. Centurions. Believe it or not. And here we go. So, anyway, I wanted to make sure... Oh, my VCAT Creed? Check this out. This VCAT Creed was taken down, and I couldn't find it anywhere on my hard drives. And then it was discovered on my original hard drive from Huber Heights. In other words, it was uploaded, and when I went to find the actual video that was used to upload it to YouTube, it was missing. Now, what this VCAT Creed entails is how I promise to be very faithful, loving and true to my music. Now, my question is here, as I scroll up and we go into the videos, I don't know if my VCAT Creed is in here yet. We'll find out. I don't see it. Oh, I just passed. But check this out. We're looking over here for my VCAT Creed video.
I am Tracilyn, also known as VCAT's Goddess.
Okay, and on there it has the Brady Bunch theme afterwards. When I was sharing my life story and when I first started uploading things, I was using television shows like One Day at a Time, la 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 la. Because why? Because, let me tell you something, in 2000 I realized I'm kind of sick of hearing the new music. It's not me. I miss a lot of the old classics and stuff. Not necessarily the songs, but the bottom line is, I know as a writer and stuff, I was always looking inspired to hear new music, but with passion that was similar to that which was captured in recordings years before. And I didn't feel that music at that time was happening. So I don't want to offend nobody. That's the way I felt. Well, I nailed it with my music, and I'm very grateful. But I've learned that these people have been using me for a very long time as a resource. And everything lines up to things that I heard in my conversation when I spoke to Jim Femino with Dizzy Dean from Britney Fox, when I spoke to my producer, Andy. I met other people in the music industry over and over again, in radio and stuff, and just subjects that came up during coffee conversations and things, like early morning breakfasts and things. And, you know, I realized I didn't want to make this big of a deal about it. But the problem is, as you notice, I wanted to share my life story, and here we go. I am seriously being harassed this whole time. And there's nothing that I can do about it. I don't know what to do about it. I try reaching out to other people, and nobody replies to me, so I know how to handle this. I ended up going into a mental behavior unit because I wanted to be evaluated. If you're going through this thing with racing thoughts and stuff in your head, or you're going through severe major depression or bipolar or mood swings, I'm telling you right now, do you feel a tingling in your body? Guess what? You could be being electronically harassed. I could go on with this everything I posted in my 50-song project. Do you think Weezer is still out there? Hey, Weezer, I'd like to talk to you sometime. Where's your 50-song project? Let's look it up. Weezer 50-song project. Here we go. Look at this. Weezer 50-song project. Where'd you come up with the idea at, Weezer? November 15, 2008. Do you really think so? I don't believe it. I started, and I say it in my videos, that I'm working on a 50-song project. Now you tell me on this week, Weezerpedia is it? Weezer, where did you come up with the real idea to do a 50-song project? I've never once heard anybody say that. Nobody talks like Tracilyn, who has a very childlike spirit. I've been talking about the 50-song project for years. I started it in 2010 when I came out here. That's what it started to manifest into. Because I'm a 50s girl is what I'd call myself. And I'm working on the 50-song project. My question is where is your earliest writing acknowledging that you were doing a 50-song project? Okay, the title of something is not copyrightable, is it? But let me tell you something. In my opinion, if you only started to come up, this 50-song project was not here when I typed it in, originally in 2012. Okay? So when this posting was actually made was not in 2008. I'd be really curious to know when your earliest notation on any legal document with the date time-stamped that says that you started the 50-song project, because it was my idea. And this is the stuff that I've been talking about with people invading my privacy. I'm not saying you invading it directly, but maybe indirectly. Invading my privacy, taking every idea I have and applying it into your life. The 50-song project, huh? I bet you my 50-song project would kick your 50-song project's ass. Weezer. Okay? In my opinion, very strong. My music is way more of a hit than yours. What do you think the problem is? Do you think it's my attitude? I don't think that's what it is at all. You know, if that is true, you're a jerk. Whoever, all of you, you're all jerks. Taking somebody's idea after all, my life story, when you hear what I went through in my life story, and to know that I came up with the 50-song project idea, okay? And I did it over at my girlfriend's Catherine's house in 2010, and in 2012 I started applying and using a webcam to share my 50-song project in hopes that I could bring people together to make said recordings, which never turned out. I make them by myself because people on the media sites have been blocking my content from the general masses. There's no reason why somebody like me should only be getting 100 or a few hundred hits or only a couple thousand. Hey, Weezer, how do you think I get 5,000 hits on a video and all of a sudden the next day it turns into only 22 hits? What do you think causes sensations like that where thousands of hits go down to several hundred hits and blocked content disappears? 50-song project, huh? I'll lay my 50-song project down beside your 50-song project any day, and I'm telling you, my songs are far more marketable. Now, why isn't my phone ringing? I don't know. Maybe it's blocked. So there you go, people. In my opinion, Weezer is corrupted. Takes little children's ideas during their time of weakness. Transsexual female, all kinds of problems with being homeless, trying to take care of self. When I finally engaged to start applying methods in what I do, which is being a recording artist, sharing my music and my life story, all of a sudden, the entire entertainment industry is using my ideas. Very clever. The Weezerpedia, is it? 50-song project. You show me your earliest content with a notation of it. Be legit. I'll show you mine. I would love to show you to your face. Mine came first. You friends with Stephen C. Johnson? Derby, New York? Okay. Now, I think I did enough with this YouTube and the social media. I am now already using up this card. We're going to save it. I want to go to bed yet here sometime. I'm going to quick try to get some of this in. I share with you with the Facebook. What ended up happening is I was also having dreams of Donald Trump. I already explained that. Coming to me on a helicopter, inviting me into his office to talk to him, saying what? I want your name, Tracilyn. You know what I want. Hey, Donald Trump, do you want my name? I want your name, Tracilyn. You know what I want. I want your name. Also, I wanted to mention, do you realize that in 2010, I have a pamphlet with a picture of myself on it that says Tracilyn Ministries, which means, or ministry, I'd have to get it out. It's Tracilyn Ministry. With that being said, I realized when I was here in my apartment where I'm living now, I looked online and I found out that there was a lady, she is a lady of color, who has Tracilyn Ministries written differently. Tracilyn written differently. Okay? Tracilyn Fashion Jewelry. Okay, same person. I don't know what's up with that, but I tried contacting you and letting you know. I was curious to know when you started Tracilyn Ministries because I thought it would be very useful in my sharing the content that every time I went to do something, since coming out here in Ohio, it appears to me that other people would start using my ideas. I don't know when Tracilyn Ministries started, but I thought it was unique with the fact that you had a 50s microphone stand or microphone And that was something that I was talking dominantly about in my privacy of my home. Now, many people use those kind of microphones, but I'm just saying, Tracilyn Ministries, I have a brochure that I made in 2010 with that on because that's what I was thinking of doing, meaning I started to engage with Pamphlet. And the reason why I tried to contact you in kindness at first was because I knew someday I'm going to make this video and I would probably end up saying she wouldn't reply to me to let me know. I just wanted to know your start date of it because I think it's important that people acknowledge how people's ideas while in the privacy of their home or in their startation early stages, that people who have money and connections with people will use little ideas and expand on them very quickly to fool the general public as though they're the ones who came up with the idea and that it always existed because it's magnified like it is. It could be true, it might not be true.